So today we will talk about the National Monetization Pipeline. As you know, yesterday the government announced this National Monetization Pipeline. So we will discuss why in news, and we will also discuss what is the difference between the monetization, privatization and disinvestment, and we will discuss actually the reason to launch the National Monetization and whatever is the main features of this National Monetization Pipeline. So this is all about we will discuss in this video. So as you know, recently, the government announced the National Asset Monetization Pipeline. National asset. So we will also discuss actually what is asset. So and to raise the 6 lakh crore, or you can say the $80 billion. So $80 billion will be also raised through this National Monetization Pipeline in the next 4 years, means the 2025 to 2026 around. So this is all about, and this is applicable from this current fiscal year, and one of the target to raise in this current fiscal year is around the 80,000 crore rupees. So this is very important. Now before we move forward, we have to look at the what is the difference, because sometimes it might be confusing that what is disinvestment, privatization. So basically these two words. So if we talk about the monetization, monetization means, suppose if there is any asset, what is the asset? Asset is a kind of which actually give you money. Suppose you upload a video on YouTube channel, and or whoever the watching the video, your video, then some amount of money given by the YouTube through AdSense revenue. So that is known as the asset. Whatever is the assets which actually give you money, let's say land, or if any home or house is on rent, then they give you some amount of rent, let's say 5,000, 10,000 up to 1 lakh. So this is also an asset. So this market can be asset if I sell in the market. So this is also asset. So whatever which give you money, so earn money through whatever is the asset, that is known as monetization. On example, the road. Suppose if there is a highway and from that there is a toll, so some amount of money is getting from that toll. So that is the asset, and that asset might be for the 1 year, 2 years, let's say 10 years or 20 years. So that is known as the asset, and then that asset gives you money, that is known as the monetization. And that when amounts that actually which amounts comes in your hand, and when you further create the asset, that is also known as the asset, or you can say the capital expenditure. So whenever the money actually used to create some asset is known as the capital expenditure, which is one of the objective of the National Monetization Pipeline. Another is the disinvestment. So what is the disinvestment and privatization? The main difference between the disinvestment and privatization is the here disinvestment, no transfer of ownership, only reduction in stake. Suppose there is a company, let's suppose there is a company, initially it is up to from the 100% ownership lies to you. Suppose you took a partner and then transfer the ownership to 10%, so 10%. So now the reduction from the minus 10%, so now the 90%. So this is the reduction in stake, is known as the disinvestment. So that is this. So the not the transfer of ownership. Ownership is lies with you, but you have the reduced the stake in your company, is known as the disinvestment. And ownership may be joint. How ownership? Because 90% ownership is to you and 10% to that another partner, whatever. Now here is the privatization. What is privatization? Privatization is the transfer of ownership or lose stake up to 51%. Because if the 50%, then the both have the full power on the company. But whenever there is a 1% increase, or 50 plus 1%, 51%, then the ownership lies to the another person, and you have a reduced role and debt, because now you have the 49%. So this is known as the privatization. So whatever happened here, actually the transfer of ownership took place, and management etc. is also took place. And here what happened that management might went to the private company or not went to the. So this is applied both in the private sector as well as the public sector. So whenever government disinvest or reduction in stakes, like you can say the recently you use LIC. So now the reduction in this is the 49%. So now the government had increased the FDI and also losing the ownership. So this is known as the disinvestment. And privatization, now government is heavily using the privatization in the bank sector, so that is known as the privatization. And monetization, earn money from assets, is known as the monetization. Now we will discuss the reason of the national monetization pipeline. What is the reason behind this launch? So as you know that National Infrastructure Pipeline, and the recently actually at the Red Fort, our Prime Minister announced the Ghati mission plan. So this scheme and this actually project launched in 2019 and recently announced in 2000 on August 15, as you know, Independence Day. This Ghati mission plan, and the amount for this needed 1.10 lakh crore and 100 lakh crore. So this is all about. If you compare this is around 2.10 lakh crore. So to meet this amount or spend the money on infrastructure, this scheme has been launched, that is the National Monetization Pipeline. So to meet this spending, as you know, 2.10 lakh crore if you sum up this. So actually this money has to be raised from this National Monetization Pipeline. So how the money will raise? Suppose that if there is any highway, if this is a highway, actually this will give to the private stakeholder or whoever is the private investor, and that will, so for this private or this private player will give some money to the government. Let's say 10,000 crore, 20,000 crore or 30,000 up to 1 lakh crore, whatever is the amount. So this money will be, and that ownership for the 4 years only. So this highway will be maintained by this private player, and when this private player will be maintained, and for maintenance they will give you amount to the money, and they will earn the money through this highway, through the tolls. So this will give you a money which will actually create the money for the government itself, and private player investment will also take place, and it will also benefit the private player. So these are the dual play actually playing by the government. So this will not only create the demand but also increase the private investment in the infrastructure, and whatever which the government will get the money, this money will be used to create this infrastructure project under the National Infrastructure Pipeline and the Gati Shakti mission plan. So this is the very important, and that's why the National Monetization Pipeline is very important. As I have told you, these are the infrastructure project to meet the global standard. So that's why the national monetization seems very important. And what is the amount will money government will raise? This 6 lakh crore, and this is one of the innovative ways. Actually there are the 3 to 4 ways actually to get the investment from the, as you know, FDI, foreign investment portfolio, disinvestment or direct privatization. But this is the another National Monetization Pipeline, or through the monetizing the asset by the private player, and they will give you some money to the government out of that. Actually this is the another way or innovative ways for the private investment. So that's why the government launched this National Monetization Pipeline. This is the main reason, to basically meet the infrastructure project cost, because government, as you know, revenue is declining in the country, and COVID-19 actually hit highest, and everyone is demanding the bailout package, and government is even providing, and in which the private investment is also declining. So actually to boost the private investment, to revive the economy and keep the economy on track, this National Monetization Pipeline has been launched. Now we will discuss some features related to the National Monetization Pipeline. So if you talk about the aim of the National Monetization Pipeline, as I have told you that more infrastructure creation, because money will be taken from the private sector and another infrastructure will be created. So this will lead to the actually, you know, virtuous cycle. What is the virtuous cycle? If you are setting a create, and then the some got money, and then the another asset, and then the another asset, and subsequently the assets and assets. So this is very important. Another is the boost investment in the country. As you know, the FDI is not coming and less coming actually, and revival of economy will take place because it's going down, and creation of demand will take place. So this is what is the aim of the National Monetization Pipeline. So if you talk about this investment in the brownfield project basically are those projects which is basically either in the not used, or there is a reduction in the actually uses. So this will be provided to the private sector, and some money will be taken away from that, and either in the languishing areas or those who are not the fully monetized or underutilized project. So these are underutilized means not fully utilized projects are known as the underutilized as well. So remember that roads has the highest weightage under this. So money will be taken from the highest from the roads 27%. After that the railways 25%, power 15%, oil and gas product 8% and telecom 6%, and this consists around the 80% of the monetization plan. As you know, empowered committee will be there which is chaired by the cabinet secretary, will help in this process and will be a contact between the union and the state and also the private sector. And there is another is the public private partnership cell under the Niti Aayog to help in the monetization process. So whatever is the difficulty will come in the national monetization plan, this PPP cell and the empowered committee chaired by the cabinet secretary will be considered or take up the matter. So this is all about the national monetization pipeline. Thank you guys, hope you like this video. You should subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.